So good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here, even at this time. I know already the program is very intense these days, so starting at 9 o'clock, it's quite an early start. My name is Elisabetta Tola. I'm a journalist. I've been working a lot with the radio and data in the last few years. And since October 2015, I started collaboration with Google News Lab. So this is my fourth workshop here in Perugia, presenting some of the tools that Google is offering to journalists to improve our work and to help us to produce digital content in an easier and more effective way. So today we will be speaking about the geo tools. If I can have the slides. Thank you. Great. So we will be looking into some of the geo tools that are available for use to improve visualization, but also to some of these tools actually offer the possibility to actually take pictures and other type of images that we can include in our articles. So before we go ahead, I just want to give you a few words about what NewsLab is for the people who haven't been in one of the previous workshops. Here we are. NewsLab is an effort that Google has set up recently, in the last very recent years, with the specific aim of fostering collaboration between technology and journalism. So it's a group, a team within Google. It's an international team. And the overall idea is that we work to train journalists and to make more easier, more accessible for journalists to use the different range of tools that Google produces. Google produces a number of tools. I'm sure like many of you use different type of tools, but very often some of these tools are not, they're not designed for journalists in the first place. They can be very well effective in the journalistic production, but very often journalists don't even know them and they don't know what kind of use they can do of them. I just want to show you briefly the website of Google News Lab. It's important to know that it's in many different languages, so you can actually access the website quite likely also in your own language, hopefully. And more languages will come. It's a website where you can find loads of different tutorials on the different type of tools. So I'll just give you an example here. For example, we gave a workshop on search, but you can find lots of tutorials on search online on this website. And these are step-by-step lessons that you can go through. Some of them are very easy, very short. Some are video that take a bit longer. But like what you can do is start with one of these lessons and start trying using the tools on your own. And then there are, of course, all contacts as well to reach us in case you need any support. I'll give you all the contacts today. There is a specific session dedicated to data. We talked about data yesterday and the day before as well here. So Google is offering this interface, which is called Google Trends for journalists to actually be able to see what are the searches that are trending online in real time, so what people are looking for. You can see a number of examples of how trends have been used by other news outlets, and so maybe get inspiration of what you can do with trends and with data. And also there is a program section, and the program, it's very important for me to point out, like there are many different collaborative programs that are fostered or where NewsLab is involved. Here in Perugia, for example, there are many workshops held by First Draft. First Draft is a coalition of different entities, different agencies and groups that has the first aim is actually try to verify information and to set a set of rules and practices and approaches to verify information that is circulating online. YouTube Newswire is a channel where you can find verified video content and that you can reuse. This is particularly important since the video content is, of course, one of the most highly circulating type of material that we have on the web. And very often we need video coming from places where we can't go in person to witness a situation. So it's very important that we get to know how to use this video in a proper way and make sure that we use the video that are original, authoritative, like certified in a certain way. Witness Media Lab, again, it's another collaboration where NewsLab takes part, and again, it's aimed mainly to verify content that's user-generated, so the possibility of using materials that are user-generated content of people who are witnessing some sort of situation, crisis, or events around the world, and using this kind of material in a way that we know it's proper and not amplifying, as it happens very often, false information or not really correct information. So basically, what we are doing here is trying to create a more informed world, like helping technology and journalism go together. Okay, so the address of NewsLab is g.co/newslab. I'll give you all the contacts later as well. You can also follow the Twitter channel of NewsLab at Google NewsLab, where you find like daily updates, also of new tutorials that are updated, new materials, new contents, sometimes little graphics or maps that are being published that you can reuse. So it's a very good way to keep in touch with us. What we are focusing today, though, it's more, as I said before, the use of technology towards the visualization of geographical information. So, as you might know, and I'm sure many of you have used already many of these tools, there are many different tools that we can use to see the land and a certain territory from many points of view. So, mapping, or watching from aerial images, or looking at images that are 360, so having like the possibility to be immersed in a certain environment, or looking from the top, so from, as I said, aerial images or satellite images as well. Some of the tools I will show you are also strongly used in collaboration with some important research institutions, such as NASA or the USGS, for example, that are providing as well original research content that can be used then in the production of images that are then distributed on this platform. How many of you have been mapping sometime, using maps? A couple of hands, okay. Now, making a map, and that's the first thing we will do. Today, it's actually quite easy. It's very straightforward. You can start directly from MyMaps. That's a very quick way to make a very easy, in terms of very few steps you need, like to get to the map ready to be embedded on your website. So how you do that? I show you a couple of maps that you can obtain this way. Like this is a map showing, for example, places in town where you can watch the World Cup. This was an experiment done by the Huffington Post Sports. You can map places. This is a map I produce on which countries are producing which kind of cereals, in this case. So maps can be produced easily if you have a table of data and places. That's what all you need. Like, so we see how we do this. We just go out, and let me just open. Okay, so if you are in with your account, you just go to, Maps, Google Maps. You go up here on the menu, and when everything is uploaded, okay, on the menu up here, it just takes a while. The connection is a bit slower this morning. Oh, there. You go down here to My Maps, okay? So you click there. I have some maps already uploaded, but what you need to do, you can do just create map. So you just click here, and slowly. And then there you are. You have like the base map, and you have untitled map, untitled layer. So you start importing a data set from here. So you just click on import, and you have to have a data set ready. You can import it directly from Drive, from Google Drive. So you have like prepare a table of number of workers in agriculture for the different Italian regions. You upload your table. And it's a bit slow, but okay, while this is uploading, I'll go to an already ready map, so it might be a bit faster. Here, let me just go, one of my maps. For example, this one. Okay. Let's see if my untitled map has, no, it's still uploading. Okay, usually when the connection is faster, your map will upload in a second. What you get, it's something like this, okay? So it's a number of markers set on the different places. So basically, your table can just be based on two columns, one column with places and one column with the data you want to show. Now, you can do many things here. You can, of course, change your title, make sure that the title is a catchy title, something that you want to be found easily. Describe the content of your map. Always very important to put some text describing the object you are producing, because they are much more easy to find. And then you can style the different markers. So go and say, for example, I want the different places. This is a map of restaurants in the Lombardy region here in Italy. You can change the base map down here and say I prefer to have whatever, a different one of these, different type of style. Really depends on what you are mapping for. So it's important to show or not the physical features of the place, for example. Okay, so whatever style you choose, then you go and try to customize a bit more your markers. So you go and you can decide to get your data distributed in different ways, in ranges or in categories. For example, I can say, my markers are set at a different address where these restaurants are placed, and I want to have them sign clearly for restaurants who have a chef man or have a woman chef. So I have, for example, markers, this kind of marker, the blue one is for a male chef, and then you have the clean one, the green one for a female chef, a woman chef, and then there is one restaurant, I think it's the only one who has a couple that are both chef, and so it's a different color. You can also style the marker in a different way. So if you go on the marker, here you can see there is this little sign here. You can change the colors. You can change the shape of your icon. You can also decide to use a more personalized icon. So if you go on more icons, you can use any of the icons that are available, or you can also use a custom icon. Let's say that you are someone, you like design your own icon, or you have a set of icons, you can import icons and use them personalized. Just to show you, for example, in this case, let's see if my presentation starts again. Like here, this is a map of different varieties of crops. So I used icons that are like for the different type of crops. It was much more effective to show them directly than using just a general marker and then have to go on the marker to click and see what kind of crop it is, right? So you can definitely see this is like a map done for a project saying which kind of crops are being researched in these different countries, okay? Yes? Just you need the microphone, sorry. We need the microphone because we're recording.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh.
Can you show, please, for a while the data sheet that you imported?
Yes.
Just to know if I needed to set up the address of the single.
Okay, yeah, I was trying to see if this was loading. Let's see. No, it's still loading. What I can tell you is you can both have just the name of the place, the comune, the city, the region. So you need to tell which column is containing the geographical information. Can be at the level of the city, the level of the region, the level of the country, or the address, or also the final address. If you have the final address, but it has to be the complete address, street and city, okay? So you avoid like double streets being in different city. So you just say in this column there are all the geographical information, and Google, based on the information that's already recorded in the Google Maps system, it will put the marker. You might find that some markers are not in the right places. Sometimes it happens because there are homonymous places or whatever. You can move the markers by hand then. So if you find that there are a couple of mistakes, make sure that you actually correct them manually. The other thing is Google will tell you if it doesn't recognize an address. Sometimes it happens, for example, that there is a misspelling, like in the name. So you can have maybe just even a letter or a space that's not. So it will tell you, I can't place these two. So and you can see in the table which two. Now, if this table would upload, would be easier to show you, but no, it's not uploading. Anyway, it's very immediate. One, it's importing, you see geocoding, it's geocoding all your data, and then you might say, these two lines are not recognized, please tell me if it's the correct name. So what we're talking here is putting a market in a specific point, okay? Right. So you can do a number of things more you can do here. If you go on your market, you can, you see here you have actually the geographical coordinates of each one. You can edit this info window. You decide, for example, there are too many information here. You can say, I don't want necessarily to have the region. We are, for example, mapping the restaurant in one region. There is no point in having the region repeated in each info window, so I'll take that off. It's important for me to know the number of Michelin star, blah, blah, so I leave that, okay, and save it. You can also add images or video. You can search for images or video online and import them directly, or you can put a specific image like a link. So you can get a much more personalized info window in this way. You can see, you can go on YouTube search. Let's say you say restaurant. I'm just giving a very quick example here because I see it's okay. So you can say, okay, I'm interested in having, I don't know, this one, select. I'm just really going, it's just like trying, so I don't know. I just see maybe it's a story on restaurants, so you import that. What it means is say save, and next time you are on this info window, you have the video or you have the image and you have the information you wanted, okay? So there is a number of things you can do to personalize the map and let it be less common, let's say, a bit more recognizable. Okay. Questions up to here? No. Now, what we've seen here are maps with a marker in a, oh, sorry, that's very important. You can embed the map. Once you have done, you say publish the map. I just, again, want to show you where it is. Okay. And you can share here. Say the level of sharing you want. Obviously, if we're going public, if we're going publishing, we need to be public. That's very important. Might seem silly, but very often we produce everything and then we forget to render it public because we're still working on it. I've seen pages in on website where you go and the content is actually not visible by external people, you know. So make sure you click public on the web once you have finished all of your work, because you can, in the meanwhile, while you are building the map, just share it with a few people. So at the end of the process, you make it public. Once it's public, then, okay, you have a link to share it if you want, but you can also embed the map. There it is, embed on my site, and you get the code that you need to copy in the HTML page of your website. So again, it's an iframe, so you just, either if you are the person uploaded content on your website, you just copy it in the HTML page, or you copy this kind of code and give it to the person who's actually editing the pages, okay? What is very good to know is that if you find the mistakes after the map has been published, you can correct it on the table. If it is on Drive, for example, you correct on Drive and you refresh the map, and the map then it's corrected online, okay? So if you find a mistake afterwards, it's very easy to correct it. You don't need to do much work to do that. Okay, tutorial, if you need to go through step by step again, I'm sure someone who has never done it might want to see a tutorial on this. So it's again on g.com Newslab, you find a tutorial to produce your map. There are more complex maps we can do using another tool which is called Fusion Table. Fusion Table allows to make maps with many more points, but actually what really is one of the great characteristics of Fusion Table is that they allow you to make a map, like density map, intensity map that are related to polygons, not to single points. So you can upload a table with your data and upload a table with the geographical data that are giving the information needed by Google to design a map in this way. It's polygonal information. It will allow you to say, for example, to compare countries or regions or province or cities, right? And to see the difference of a certain data in terms of, for example, intensity of color. Now, in this case, there are a few more steps to do because you need to use the Fusion Table to upload your table on Fusion Table. I just show you how a Fusion Table looks like. Let me open one, okay? So you go to Fusion Table on Google, upload your table, and then you need to do, and that's a step forward. So again, I send you to see a tutorial on that because it takes a bit of time. I want to give you a range of tools this morning, but it's very important to know that these possibilities at hand very easily. You merge your table with a table with the geographical information. So where do we find a table with the geographical information? For example, national institutions, like in Italy, the Italian Institute of Statistics has official tables with all the borders for region, province, comune. So if you go to Istat, that's an example. Eurostat, like all the official, international institutions might have boundaries. You look for country boundaries, region boundaries, okay? So your table, once you have done this merging between geographical and data, will look like this. You have your information, your data. In this case, is the number of female workers in different countries, female workers in agriculture in different countries. And here you see geometry. That's where the geographical information has been uploaded. How the map looks is like this. Basically, the map is built using the geographical information, which is more complex. It's the KML format. And it allows you to show intensity difference between one country and the other. Again, here we have info windows that we can edit. We can edit like all the different elements of this map, the legend and so on. But it's important to know that we can also use this kind of tool when it's feasible, when it's relevant, because not always an intensity map is the best way to go. And it's more complex than the very quick map. So, but sometimes it's the way to go because you want your viewers to have an immediate view of the difference between the different data. Also, you can find a number of tables already uploaded in Fusion Table. Now, make sure that if you're using official data, you know that that data has been produced by the different institutions. If you're looking for tables that are being uploaded by users, make sure that, first of all, you can use those data, that those users have given permission, like they uploaded tables saying, this table has been built, and I want it to be public for other people to use. And also that that data are accurate, of course, so that you can actually be sure that that table has been built in a correct way. If you are a developer or if you work with a developer, there are a number of API that a developer can use to actually further improve or further personalize maps, okay? So you can go at this address, developers, google.com/maps, and that's where you can find a number of possibilities, a number of further possibilities at hand. Questions up to here? We go ahead. Okay, so step ahead is we go and see the Earth from top, right, from satellite or from aerial images, and that's Google Earth Pro. How many of you use Google Earth? How do you use it? Give me a couple of examples. Paola. Just to navigate, just to go through. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I know. We have to use it. Right.
Does it work?
Yeah.
Okay, now yes. Just to see, just to have a look.
So just to go from one
Yes.
place to the other. Okay. Someone else making a different use of Google Earth? Here.
Just to recognize the place where I have a meeting.
Okay, there is much more you can do on Google Earth. Google Earth can be used by journalists in an extremely effective way. First of all, of course, you have so many images that are available there, and you can use those images. You can actually export images and use them as still images at different levels of definition. Like you have many different choices here. And you can see that this can be used, especially when we're talking about places that are not really at hand. We might not have first-hand imagery of places that we are talking about on the news, right? So it's very effective to use Google Earth to show places. Okay, this is a screenshot of Google Earth. Google Earth needs to be downloaded. It's free of charge. So if you go on the Google Earth Pro website, there is a code, you download it, you use your code, and you go ahead. So it's actually a tool that's, you can't use it only online, you need to download it on your computer, but then it's extremely effective for a number of reasons I'm gonna show you now. This is just a shot, for example, of the region of New York. Here we see on top, like that's typical of what we see. There are many different layers we can put, and there are many different type of images we can see. There are images, for example, that are historical images. There are images that are coming from, they come all from many different type of collaboration that Google has set up in time with different institutions. So images from the space. It's very important that you know that we don't only have Google Earth, but we also have Google Moon and Google Mars, because there have been strong collaborations again with the research institutions. So if you go up here, you see, you decide to stay on Earth, or you go on the Moon, or you go on Mars. It's very nice because both for Mars and the Moon, I tell you I'm particularly interested because I come from scientific background. So anything that can give me a hint into like these different kind of words is very interesting for me. But you can find all, even like the historical maps, like the first maps that have been designed by the first astronomers. So there is an enormous amount of material that you can use. So it's very much more than just navigating through Earth or Moon or Mars. You can really see also all of these layers of information. Just by clicking here, you can find a number of information which are very interesting. If you decide to take a still image, it's also important to know that you can get historical images. I mean, the images have been taken, like you have a collection of images for, not for each place in the world, of course, but there are places where you have a collection of images going back in history. Some of the images, for example, are not, of course, from satellites. I can tell you I've taken some images of my city, Bologna, and the first images that are available are from 1943, and obviously they are during the war, and they have been done by aerial photographs, and that was during the war. Of course, it was very important to get all of these kind of images from the top. So it's very nice to see also how a place has changed in time. You can take images, you can build a time lapse that you can actually use in your website, or you can just do one of those comparisons. I'll show you some example in a second of before and after. So you can use these images in many ways. You can also produce a short video on Google Earth. There is a movie maker tool that allows you to actually say, I go from here to here, and just put the bookmarks in one place, where I start, where I arrive, and record the video. And that's extremely effective. Again, I'll show you in a minute a couple of examples, because you can use the video when you are talking about something that has to do with people or things moving from one place to another. When you are doing an image, like again, the tool is up here, you can decide the type of resolution, as you see. So the current resolution, some images are high resolution. You can decide how to save the image. So as I say, here it's an example of a refugee camp development used by BBC News from the 2013. You see during the year how the refugee camp has been built. So you can see in different time. Sometimes this is the Nepal earthquake before and after, used by the Boston Globe. Before we go ahead here, I just want to show you another example. Let me just get here. Here. This is a very nice, I don't know who has seen this product. The Waypoint is a visual journey organized by the Washington Post. And it's on the journey that people do from Syria to, well, through, it's only from Syria, mainly from Syria, through Lesbos. And you can use the board to go here. And there are different type of images used here. Like, again, some of the footage comes from the coast, from the guards. Some other comes from satellite images. Some are taken by drones. There are many different type of images. But what is interesting is to show the actual way, so the entire journey. Google Earth has been used exactly like this. And that's exactly how you do it. You are in Google Earth. You start from one point. You get to another one. You use the movie maker to record that, export the movie, and use it in your product. So it's extremely effective. Okay? Sorry. Okay. And another example I want to show you is this by Al Jazeera, Dual Roads Lead to Jerusalem. It was presented in Milan just a couple of weeks ago. Myself and Simona were there to see it. And it's a very, very good example, again, of use of, to show how people going from Gaza Strip and trying to cross the border into Jerusalem have to travel for hours to do just maybe 10 or 15 kilometers. And to do that, they also used the maps and the journey to make sure that everybody has very clear what the way is. So the length in terms of time compared to the distance in terms of kilometers. We can, for example, see here the history of this little guy. You see all the time. And if you go through like the different stories, you see there are lots of images used by Earth to actually show and follow them up. So there are many ways to do this in a very effective way. The last example I want to show you, although this is not really Earth, we go in a, we wait and go with Photosphere, it's a different thing. Okay, there we are. In Earth, you can also use, you can also have 3D images for a number of different places in the world. So you can also see how the city actually look like. This is being used, for example, by the Washington Post to show the Vatican City while the Pope was elected. So it was a different way to, again, present the place where this big discussion was, this big elections was taking place. So many examples around to use Earth Pro. And as I said, it's very important that you know that Movie Maker is a very easy tool. So again, oh, let me see if I have it. Yeah, here. A tutorial to make movie at g.co/news. You find the tutorial step by step to actually show you exactly how you record your movie on Google Earth Pro. Okay, these are here already, we saw them. Questions? Yes? Just a second.
You said we could always use the material you're providing us, under what conditions can I publish this?
That was my next slide. Okay,
Okay.
if I have a slide on, thanks. Yeah, of course, you can use all of these materials. You need to check like the permissions. Can I have the slide, please? Here, at google.com/permission, you have all the indication how to cite properly the material and all the different uses you do. Have different, I mean, there are different terms of use, there might be different terms of use, and you just go here and there are all the answers. So how I use it, how can I use it, all the tools I show you are free. So you can use them for free, but you need to know how to cite the different tools, yeah. Okay, so this is your reference point. Okay, another important reference for you is to have g.co/Google Media Alerts. This is a mailing list you might want to subscribe if you want to receive fresh imagery that are produced. For example, when something happens, there is a hurricane striking in a place, there is a moment of crisis, something. Nepal earthquake last year was a case where like fresh imagery were provided immediately to journalists, like in the matter of hours, to see how the site was changing because of what was happening. So if you subscribe to this mailing list, you will find you will receive updates when new imagery are available. Especially, as I say, it's important at crucial times when you really need to have this kind of material in a very fast way to use it for your work. Okay? Right. These are just examples to see how different images have been produced. Another reference point is the GeoMedia Lab. Here you find more tutorials, even more details on all the different tools, different geo tools. So you can find, again, instructions on how to produce an embeddable map, instructions on how to use Streetview, we will see in a second, Streetview and Photosphere, how to use the fusion table, and so on. So that's another good address for you to actually get to know these tools in a better way. Okay, I think we still, yeah, I have to go fast. So Streetview is my next point to show you. Again, I'm sure many of you use Streetview, even if just for fun, in the sense that when you go to a place, you want to see how it looks before you get there. So you know that now for most places, if we go on maps, let's see, no, just maps. Let's say Perugia, Piazza Italia. Okay, right, so we're here, the Tel Brufani. You just take your pegman and put it with you on the place where you want to get, and there you are, in Streetview, okay? Now, what is very important for you to know is that the Streetview images are embeddable. So you can actually take them and use them in your website by, again, I recommend everybody checking all the permission and everything, but here, you just go here, share or embed image. So you just click on the image you want to use, you can get a link, but you can also get the code here to embed your image. And again, it's very easy. You just take the code and put it in your HTML page and you have your image embedded. What you might want to know, and it's interesting, is that when you have this little clock here, of course it's not available for every place, but it is available for a number of places. You can have historical images, well, historical in terms of the web, of course, in this case. We're not talking about Google Earth, as we were saying before. In that case, most of the historical images have been provided by research institutions or national institutions, so on. In this case, we're talking about the images that have been taken by Streetview in the different time. But again, I can see how a place has changed. Like if the first image was taken in 2008, then this is in 2012, without bus in 2014. And bus are big players in this place anyway. It's a bus stop, of course. Okay, in this case, we don't see many differences. But I can tell you, for example, I just always like to do this example. That's because it's the city where I come from, which is the Via de Carracci, Bologna. And every person who lives in Bologna knows very well this place because this is the address of the back entrance of the train station, as you see. So if we put the flagman here. Okay, this place has changed enormously in the matter of few years because the new high-speed train has been built. So there has been a lot of construction going on. So if we go in Street View, okay, we can see, we should see the difference. Well, let me just go ahead. It's not the right point, but you can see, oh yeah, it's not the right point, of course. We're still building. Here we are. Okay, that's the train station as it looks now, at the moment. And all of this road has changed completely in the matter of few years because of the fact that there has been a huge amount of building, okay? So now we enter from here. This is the back entrance. But if we go back to 2008, you see here on top the construction still going on, 2011 still, and again, okay? So you can, for certain points, if you have a number of images, you can see how that place has changed in time and use those images again. You can embed them or just print them and have a gallery of the different images, for example, and put them together to show how a place has changed. Of course, what's very nice here is the fact that when you go on Street View, you also find lots of material that's being uploaded by other users. And you might be interested in using some of these images. What you have to do in that case is go to that image, make sure you actually see who's the person who uploaded that picture and contact the person to see which terms of use are set on that kind of image. Let's say there is a person that is, for example, taking pictures of different places and is very happy that images circulate freely. You just tell them, what do you want, attribution, whatever. Some other people might just put the images here, but under different type of licenses. So make sure it's very clear that when you see Street View, that's the Google permission license. When you see the different users, you need to make sure that you contact the users and see what kind of terms of use they say. But you have all of this material here that you can at least browse and make sure that you can have a look through. Okay, so this is Street View, and a very good example, and I'll go quite fast here. The last frontier is coupling Street View also with 360 images, so in Photosphere. Okay. So you might have seen Photosphere around. Are you making Photosphere? Is anyone making Photosphere? Not yet, okay. So there are some applications on your mobile phone, very often, like loads of apps now that allow you to make a Photosphere. So basically to just turn around while you're taking pictures and make a Photosphere. But there are also new devices now that are, so these are apps, both for Android and for iOS. But there are also some devices like the Ricoh, for example. There's a little camera here and more camera. There are some more complex cameras that are coming in, allow you to make a Photosphere. So you can upload a Photosphere on Street View through your account. That's pretty easy, okay? And you can see, you can do it from your account at contribution. Photosphere look like this. There are basically photos that allow you to explore the entire, you're immersed in the landscape in that case. I just wanted to show you two examples and then I'm finished. And one is this one. I have it open already, so let's see if we manage. What is it? Yeah. One is this one, which is an article done by the San Francisco Chronicle on the places on different places, different shops in the neighbors to see how the neighbor has changed in time. And for example, you can navigate, this is just an example, inside a bookstore. So you have a Photosphere And when you go into this, you are navigating inside the bookstore, seeing all the bookstore around you. Of course, it's not nice to see from desktop. The best way to see a photosphere is to use your mobile, because you just click on this, and moving around, you see like as if you were around, or use a cardboard. The cardboard are these very simple. Okay, thank you, Simona, because I keep... This is the cardboard. Thank you. It's a very simple tool. Actually, you know, maybe one of you have seen the Oculus Rift, which is the other range. It's a very technological tool. This is like a really few euros. You can even build your own cardboard. There are instructions online to build your own cardboard. You just place your mobile phone in here, and then you view. So when you are here, you can move around the place, and you feel like as if you are in the actual space that you are looking at. So it's a very effective way to bring people inside a place, okay? So this is my last example, but I hope it's a very effective one, which is a work done by the New York Times on Nepal. Pictures, oh, thank you, on Nepal, using Photosphere done by people or published on Google Streetview, and then Photosphere done by the New York Times photographer after the earthquake. They have used one of the API to do this kind of things. Look, you're moving around and you see the same place as it was before and after the earthquake, okay? So it's a very, very effective way to actually see how the place has changed, what kind of buildings have collapsed, and so on. And some of the pictures are quite interesting, like this one is one of my favorite, because in this case, if you go around, I mean, there haven't been so much of a destruction here. It's a very narrow alley, but you see the life has changed completely. Before the earthquake, this was a market street, so full of people, and after the earthquake, you see it's completely deserted place, and there are no vendors, no people working around, so it's a very immediate and effective way to actually bring people in a place and show them how a place has changed. Okay, I just give you one more information, which is this. You can use your photosphere to add audio story to your photosphere. So there is, again, a platform, Storysphere, where you can upload your photosphere, and then you upload your audio. So you can have a photosphere with audio clips, even in different points of the photosphere. So again, it's again more immersive if you are like, for example, surfing up in Indonesia, you can hear, I don't know, the sound of the sea, and then you can hear someone talking at the bar or at the place. So you can provide a full experience, which is I bring you in the place, and I actually give you also sounds of the place. It was used by the Washington Post, for example, to show the New York Fashion Week. So you could navigate through this picture and hear the different voices in different points of the photosphere. Okay, I'll just quickly go through our contacts at the end and give you a few more minutes for questions, if you have any. Any questions? Yes. Ah, mi può lasciare la... Grazie. Ci vuole un attimo. Okay, so the Twitter channel, Google News Lab, of course, Google News Lab also, there is a G+ community, there is a YouTube channel, so you have all the social channel to reach us. Very important, our email. If you're doing any journalistic work that needs some sort of support, you're using one of the tools, you're not sure how these tools might be used, or you need some tips, or you need some information, just write at Newslab support and you'll get someone from the team answering you. And if you, I'm just telling for the Italian colleagues here, if you want to write in Italian, they will get in touch with me, so, because the team is multinational, so of course, journalists from different countries can also say, please, address me to the Italian team, okay? Other questions? No? Okay, So thank you very much, everybody, and I hope to hear from you. Bye.